Dear friends, today we commemorate the greatest ever sacrifice offered in the human history. It becomes so great because it's not just a human being who made that sacrifice. It's the God the Father who made the sacrifice, who decided to offer this sacrifice, and the Son who contributed 100% to make the sacrifice happen. If you remember, Abraham was asked to offer the sacrifice. The sacrifice was none other than his own son, Isaac. That was the custom in those days. During those unknown days, for any calamity, for any natural disaster, or if there's a plague, there was a custom of offering a child, mostly the firstborn child, as a sacrifice to gods. Even in our Sri Lankan history, we have something like of Vihara Mahadevi being offered to the sea to stop the waters raging into the land. This is something around 200 BC. Now, Abraham's time, it was the custom. And for salvation of human beings, Abraham was ready to offer his own son. But you know the rest of the story. God stopped him and said, "Don't touch the child. This custom should be over from here. Let others do if they want, but for the salvation of the human beings, you don't have to do anything to your children. I will offer my son one day." And that was a sign given to humanity. Then it came down to an animal, an unblemished lamb was offered, started with Moses. He advised people of Israel to kill an unblemished lamb, 1-year-old lamb, and apply the blood on their doorpost so that the angel of death will skip those houses. And that happened, and they followed it every year. Every Passover, they killed lambs. As an atonement for the sin of the people, high priest would enter into the Holy of Holies and offer a sacrifice, kill an animal, and wash the altar with the blood of the animal. And God said, "It's enough. Stop killing even animals. Once and for all, I'll offer my son, my own son." Of course, he'll come down as a human being, and that human being, who is my son, will offer the sacrifice. And that's it. Thereafter, no bloodshed is needed for an atonement, for the forgiveness of sins, for the salvation. That's why I said, dear friends, this is the commemoration of the greatest sacrifice ever in the human history. Now we are the followers of Jesus. We are called Christians. What we are supposed to do is what our Master has taught us. Remember, our Master always taught us. He has taught us how to make sacrifices. One of the things he has said is, when you give, your left hand should not know what your right hand gives. So do charity in secret. Again, remember when that widow put that coin into the treasury of the temple? He appreciated that immediately. And he said, this woman made the biggest contribution because she made a sacrifice. Others gave money, some big monies, but they gave from what they extra, whatever they had in excess. Now, dear friends, Jesus immediately recognized this woman as someone who is like him. She's someone like us, like me and my father, because we give everything. God the Father has given everything, and Jesus is going to give everything. But he didn't want publicity. Even when he performed a miracle, he said, don't tell anyone. Just go and perform the rituals. Meet the priest and tell that you are clean. He said to the lepers. And to the blind, just go away. Don't tell anyone. He didn't want publicity. And now he's going to offer himself for the salvation of whole of humanity. He knows that, and he told that to his disciples. Now more than 5,000 people were following him for one session, for one service. There were more than 5,000 people, 5,000 men rather. So with women and children, it would have been 10,000s. He would have easily said, dear friends, I'm going to make a sacrifice for you and for everyone. I would like you to come and see that, because I'm going to offer my own self, and there won't be any more sacrifices hereafter. This is the last sacrifice, and my sacrifice is going to be the greatest sacrifice in the human history. So please come and witness it in Jerusalem. No, we haven't heard that, isn't it? He did it in secret. Those executors, yes, made it public. But still, he was taken outside the city wall and killed him. So, dear friends, on this day, we remind ourselves of these two great things of a sacrifice. Because we are supposed to make sacrifices. This word sacrifice should be one of the top in the list of our vocabulary, in our vocabulary. This should be a frequent word. We should hear it, we should practice it. If not, we are not real followers of Jesus. Therefore, we need to know the real value and the real colors of sacrifice. So, number one is do it in secret. And sacrifice is with pain. If there's no pain in your giving, if you give something in excess, there's no sacrifice there. And especially when you want to clean up your cupboards and when you think of the poor, or when you have something extra, if you want to get rid of something and think of the poor, that's not sacrifice. Remember, the poor is helping you to clean up your cupboards and your household matters. They are helping you, so you should be grateful to them. That's not charity. That's not sacrifice. Sacrifice is that you are giving your best. God gave his everything. Jesus gave everything, even the last drop of his blood was used to heal someone. And he gave all what he had, even his clothes. He died naked on the cross. Everything. Do we give everything? Do we make that kind of sacrifices, dear friends? So let's reconsider about our giving, especially when we want to make sacrifices. If you don't make sacrifices in your family, to your children, to your wife, to your husband, and for your neighbors, don't think that we are true Christians. Next thing is, this pain has to come into action secretly. It should be underneath. Like the pearl oysters, how they make pearl, they go through so much of pain in the bottom of the sea, but one day it comes up. Jesus made all these sacrifices in secret, but it has come up and millions worship him today. Just like the pearl of this oyster would come out one day, and it will be immensely expensive. Like a gem. This gem would be under the soil for millions of years. What we try to do is, dear friends, we are trying to surface our charity, and we need a bit of publicity or kind of appreciation from others. Remember, the stones on the ground has no value. Even in the sea, we see certain things floating on the waters. That's dirt, not pearl. Pearl is always under the water, it's in the bottom, it's hidden. Therefore, let's keep our charity, our sacrifices in secret. And let's make sure that always when we give something, it hurts us. Then we are true followers of Jesus, and we truly commemorate that greatest sacrifice of human history in our lives every day. Amen.